I had a request from my newsletter subscribers to talk about how to draw a house or really any building. And the first thing I do is I look for the square. So just about any building you can imagine has a square as its foundation. And it might be that the whole building is a square, just like this one. And once you find that square, you're kind of at home because then you can see how is that square divided up. You know, a square is an easy thing for us to draw. It's easy to measure. It's easy to eyeball and recognize. So there's a full version of this video that I sent out where we really walk through how I take all these measurements and why this helps me so much with the drawing. And you know, this doesn't just work for houses. Like here, I gave a demonstration of how I use this for a cathedral. Look at that. It's a square. And so once you realize that, it's suddenly you can take this really incredible Gothic building. This is actually one of the most intricate Gothic churches in Europe. And you start dividing it up and you realize like, oh, this is basically just a big tic-tac-toe game. I think I can figure this out. So here's the cathedral that I drew on site using this method. And so I sort of walk people through exactly how to manage all these details, but in a really simple way. And you know, you can do this with just about any building. So this is the New York Public Library. And really, it's also just a bunch of blocks. And I really do recommend printing out a photo and drawing on top of it with a marker or a highlighter to get comfortable with this idea. So anyway, once we walked through that basic concept, we went ahead and did a really simple pencil sketch, and that suddenly becomes very easy once you've sort of broken down the major shapes like this. So once the pencil drawing's done, we use a couple different kinds of pens to get just the basic drawing in, but then also to add some, you know, details that really give it some depth and kind of make it come to life. So we go through the different sort of textures you can put on the building, the darker shadows, using both fine and bolder pens. And then I always like to come in with markers, waterproof markers, and add a little bit of detail and some shading before I start with watercolor. So our last step is to look at quick, fun ways to finish this with watercolor. And, you know, there it is. You've done a house portrait. If you're enjoying this, I hope you'll give it a like and a subscribe, but I also wanted to let you know that the full version of this and a bunch of other things I post on YouTube is all available to my newsletter subscribers. So if you sign up, you get something new every week where we do the full version with a lot more detail, videos, art supplies. We also do live Zooms together, all kinds of stuff. So there's the address, and check that out too if you're interested.